Hello, my name is Shantanu Katakam. I am a first year student at IIM Trichy. As a part of my Indian Economy and Policy course, I am here to speak about a topic which is holding back our general and economic development of the country. Poor quality of education. Why is the quality of education so bad in India? Why is the proportion of students being successful, if not successful, at least completing the education, is so less when compared to other populous nations of the world? What could be the reasons for people being less bothered about the quality of basic schooling in our country? Let me start by quoting World Bank. World Bank says that poor education prevents faster economic growth and shared prosperity. It absolutely does. Right to Education Act is not enough to change this situation. A great visionary thinking and a will to make a change is needed. There are broadly three issues affecting the quality of education in India: access, attendance, and attainment. A large population of children in our country do not have access to schools. The reasons for this can be poor infrastructure or parents being uncertain about the safety of children traveling to schools a little far away. The number of institutions in our country go up as we go down the order in schooling. The system is so designed to squeeze out students at each stage. The statistics from Ministry of Human Resource Development circa 2004 says that there are about 250 institutes of national importance, about 2,500 in professional institutes, a little less than 9,000 colleges for general education, about 1,30,000 higher secondary schools, a little more than 2 lakh upper primary schools, and around 6.5 lakh recognized primary schools. In the name of Education Act, government has opened many schools and satellite schooling in remote areas, but did not care to check for the teachers who run the schools. Most of them are little trained, who work for meager wages. These substandard schools lead to poorly educated children, which in turn gives rise to poverty and illiteracy. Attendance is another issue. If you forcefully ensure to enroll a child, you cannot ensure his attendance to the school. There are few factors that keep child away from school. Teachers are not held accountable for attendance. Hence, they don't see the push to encourage. Child labor is something which attracts the family of child to keep him away from school. A small amount would make their day, but only for a short period. Not all teachers are interested in teaching. The knowledge is very limited. Apparently, Delhi University is offering students option of completing 4-year diploma course in 2 years if they want to pursue primary school teacher career. When you hire such poorly qualified people to be primary school teachers, what message are we sending to the world? Think about it. Just spending time in school is not enough. There has to be a significant gain in skills that require an improvement in the quality of education. This will help countries in region to reap the full expected returns on their investments and generate gains in productivity and economic growth, said Philip, World Bank Vice President for South Asia. Increasing number of Indians, rich and poor, are paying for schooling. The share of pupils in private education has risen from 28% to 33% in just 3 years. In rural areas, it has almost doubled in 8 years, from 16 to 29%. Private schools organize classes in tiny rooms, sometimes outside. Even if the rain means lessons are cancelled, it's still better than a class without a teacher, as is often the case in state schools where teachers are absent 1 day in 5 on average. This statistic sums up the learning crisis that, according to many researchers, now threatens the development in India, where half the population is under 25 years of age. Let's talk about the attendance of teacher now. It's not always the students who lack interest to come to school. Teachers skip school too without being punished for or penalized for it. Taking a leave once in a while is reasonable, but if the teacher doesn't turn up once or twice every 5 days, why would the children be interested to go to the school in first place? Attainment is another serious issue. Our education system is more towards goal-oriented than thought-oriented. They're least bothered about how we attain schooling, even if it was to mug up or learn by heart, where thought-oriented system would be much more interesting and involving to a child. The Indian education system was created by the British rulers to create clerks who they thought would help them run a country of 40 million people. It was never designed to promote thought and encourage curiosity in a student. Unfortunately, we still follow the same system. Students do attain knowledge if it remains this way. If it remains this way, we would be producing people like robots or machines, and that would be wrong in a long term. The pedagogy of the system is so boring. The subject we learn most of the time is either irrelevant or outdated. There is no update in subject. It is the same as it was a decade ago, except for factual events filling the pages. The evaluation is done on what child has learned by heart or what he is able to fill up the exam with that information. Even the parents are not helping with the greed of having the child in toppers list. This builds up a lot of pressure in the student's mind, and it never helps him grow, and it leaves him without any skills or perspective around him to build a life. This is not just at school level. Think about the students with bachelor's degree. How many of them justify their degree? How often does a student leverage what he or she has learned into a career? Even a fresh graduate engineer needs to be trained at his new job to be very useful. There are few of us, in spite of all of this, do excellent in life. These are that small proportion I was talking about in the beginning. It is not that all hope is lost in our country. There is hope for a better India. There is change happening. Youth is looking out to explore and learn. The thought process is different from what it was few years ago, even though there is hindrance to education by the negativity of our culture. Hopefully, we can see the difference in our quality of education system soon. Thank you.